Hey everyone, welcome back to Building in Public, Day 13 with Jason at Commercial Legal. Today's topic will be how I come up with the right blog article topics to write about in order to get my law firm clients the homepage and the service pages actually ranking for the competitive keywords that they want to rank for. This video will be helpful for any businesses out there who know you need to be creating content to actually get SEO results and start ranking, but you don't know what article topics to actually write about. So yeah, um, let's talk about it. But before we do, we have to go through the main schedule of the show, which is what I did yesterday and today, and then my main business learning, and then we'll talk about the main topic, and then after that, we'll answer some questions from our YouTube channel. So if you're not interested in the first two parts of the show, you can skip right to the main topic using the chapters and the timestamps in the description. So what happened yesterday and today? Well, today is only 11 o'clock a.m., so I didn't really do much. I just woke up. Oh no, I did do some stuff. Let me talk about yesterday. I finally finished and confirmed with my one of my new clients that their website has been done. They've sent me a message saying it's all up and good. It looks really nice. I'll let you know if there's anything else. So that's great to hear that that's finally off my table for the time being. What I also did was I spent some time and came up with some blog topics to be written for two of our law firm clients. So that was actually the inspiration for the video topic today. My article writer, my article manager yesterday said that they really did not have time to come up with the topics because they had some assessments going on. So they asked me for a favor. I obliged and so, yeah, so that's what happened yesterday. And then I took a nap at like 8 p.m., thinking I would wake up to make a video, but I didn't. So apologies, everyone. And then what happened today? So I woke up on the sofa at like 5 a.m., had a quick shower, and then instead of going back to sleep, I kept on went on the computer, did some more work, try to find some more article topics for one of our law firm clients. After that, I dealt with some Upwork issues and then went to the gym. And I don't know if you guys know this, but my partner is actually a real estate agent in the local area with the number one real estate agent, sorry, with the number one real estate agency in the local area. So I help them put their real estate signs out every Saturday. And that's what I did as well. So cool story. Okay, the business learning for today is, and this is a lesson for myself. I'm not here to preach to you what you should be doing, but if this is relevant and you relate to it, feel free to take on this advice. The business learning to myself is don't hire to solely meet a current need. Instead, I should be hiring to meet an anticipated need that will be coming up in the short to mid-term future. So this was inspired by me making the mistake of hiring 4 to 5 new part-time writers back in December and January, where I needed them to write articles for my existing clients. And that need was met. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I onboarded 2 new clients right after that hiring spree, and now I had to hire someone else to actually meet that new demand. And it would have been a lot easier for me and the whole team if I had just anticipated that I will be onboarding some new clients soon. So I should just be hiring 2 or 3 full-time writers. And it's okay that they aren't full capacity because in the short to midterm future, the capacity will still be met with the new work that will be coming in. And oh my God, sorry guys. And that is my learning. Don't just hire for a current need. Make sure you hire for a future need that you anticipate will be coming up in the short to midterm future. So, keeping the business lesson short because the main topic of the show today, which I'll be talking about now, is again how to come up with the article topics to write about that will actually get your related service pages or your homepage of your law firm or your business to start ranking on the first page for the keywords you want to rank for. So let me share my screen and I'll show you the whole process. All right, guys, what we're seeing on the screen is a tool called SearchAtlas. This is the main SEO tool that I use at my business, at my SEO agency to actually manage and do everything SEO related for my law firm clients. So let's go to their topical maps creator. And then we click on that, you'll actually see there's a massive history of all the different topical maps I have created for my clients. So you'll know for sure that this is a tool that I actually use and not a tool that I just sign up for 10 minutes ago just to send an affiliate link, which I know a lot of people on YouTube will be doing. Hopefully not, though. So what you want to do is press on create topical map. And here you have a few different settings that you got to go through. First is create a folder. A folder is essentially like folder for you to know, for you to categorize the different topical maps you might be creating for individual clients. So you can just leave it as all articles, but I like to categorize it as just say new client one, or you could just type in the client name. I just leave it as all articles, doesn't really matter. Pillar page URL is optional, but I like to insert the either the homepage that I want to rank for, that I want to rank, or the service page that I want to rank. So I won't put anything in here for the demonstration. For the target keyword, this is essentially the target keyword that you want to rank for, or the instead of the keyword, it should be the main sort of entity or the topic you want to rank for. What is the main topic you want to rank for? So let's just say I want to rank for AML, so anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing compliance, right? So very niche. I told you I used to be a lawyer. I'm working with lawyers, so we talk about a lot of. So everything I do is quite niche and specific, and specialized. So for AML CTF compliance, that's the main sort of topic I want to rank one of our clients' service pages for. So instead of literally typing in the actual keyword, I don't want you to type in the actual keyword you want to rank for. You should be typing in the sort of main topic that you want to rank for. So they really should be improving this a little bit more in terms of the instructions. So I'll put in something like um, AML CTF compliance in Australia, something like that. So no matter what type of keywords people use, if it's related to this entity or this main overall topic, hopefully the service page will be ranking if you actually write the blog articles that will be coming out of this process. Make sure you choose the right language, of course. The clusters, long tails, and titles. Let me explain that for a little bit, really quickly. Clusters is so you have the main topic of that you want to rank for, which is anti-money laundering compliance in Australia. A category are the different categories of subtopics that you need to be establishing topical authority for in order to help you better rank for the main topic of of anti-money laundering CTF compliance in Australia. Okay, so you don't just have an overall topic and then you just start finding topics underneath that main topic to write about. This topical map creator actually breaks it down to you even further, so you can know even further how to which blog articles to write in order to establish each subcategory or subtopic that's required to establish the main topical authority. So hopefully that makes sense. And so you can have a maximum of 10 different clusters or subtopics. And then, I usually put 10 for here. And then for the long tail, what's long tail? Essentially it gives you the long tail keyword that you should be ranking for or targeting to establish your authority for that subtopic or that category or the cluster. So I like to put in 10 there as well because I like to have as many different topic ideas as possible. And then it also gives you the option of article how many actual article topics. Sorry, how many article topics do you want to include for each cluster? So you can have, let's just say, I should have 10 clusters there and then it comes up with 10 long tail, and then I also want to have 10 actual article titles. So what this topical map does, it also literally just suggests the actual title of each article that you should be writing in order to establish the topical authority for each category that's required to establish the overall authority for the main topic, which is AML CTF compliance in Australia. So I like to max it out 10, 10, 10, giving me 1,000 article ideas. But I won't do it for this demonstration because that's a lot. And so it's not going to fit on the screen very well. So it will make the video lag. So I might do five article titles, five long tails, and then I'll do five clusters. So that hopefully should be a lot more easier to see on the video, just to convey how this actually works. And then you press create and continue, and it will start creating the topical map. I really like using this tool because it just makes the topical map creation process so much easier than going to ChatGPT or I saw one from Julian Goldie. He said, "Oh yeah, how to create a topical map in one click," and then it was like 10 billion different clicks, and you had to install like these you had to use Google Sheets and install a like AI plugin for that Google Sheets, and then use insert formulas and stuff. And it didn't even come up with the entire topical map. It just came up with like categories of stuff. I'm not saying that he like that method sucks. It's clearly working for him, and he knows a lot better. He knows a lot more about SEO than me. But this is just my take on it. So now I can see topic ideas created. Let's view the topical map. We'll click on that. What it'll come up with is a blank table. Don't worry, we actually gotta have to add ideas to the topical map. So when we click on that, add ideas, then we actually see the entire mind map that shows. Let me just drag it. Unfortunately, this is zoomed out as much as I can, so I can't show the entire thing in one screen. Oh, oh. Okay, so you can see here the main topic that we want to rank for. s- Traditionally, we want to rank our service pages, right, or homepage for this particular main topic, AML CTF compliance in Australia. And then you can see it's broken down into multiple five different categories. So you can see here on the left hand side rather, one category which is AML CTF legislation. The second is risk assessment strategies. A third is compliance program development. Fourth is reporting obligations overviews. And then fifth is enforcement actions and penalties. The sixth one is a generic one that's added normally just to include FAQs. So you can see here there's five different categories that this AI topical map creator has determined to be relevant, and we have to to write articles covering each of these categories in order to establish the maximum amount of topical authority for this main topic of AML CTF compliance in Australia, which we want to rank for. Okay, and so let me analyze the categories because this is really good. So it comes up with you have to establish the legislation, right? It talks about the legislation. What is the black letter law that's relevant to anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing and compliance in Australia? So it comes up with the legislation. Obviously, that is relevant because that is the law. The second category or subtopic that he has determined to be relevant that we need to talk about with our blog articles is risk assessment strategy. So how do we assess the risks? What are the risks involved in order to in order to know how to comply with anti-money laundering laws in Australia? So that makes sense too. The third subtopic is compliance program development. So now we're talking about the actual compliance. So how what we need to develop a program. It's an AML/CTF program is a real thing. So I'm really glad that this subtopic was actually came about. Compliance program development, that's a key area for AML/CTF compliance in Australia. We actually need to develop the programs involved to ensure that our businesses are compliant with anti-money laundering laws. And so it has suggested this subtopic, and it will come up with all the different articles that we should be writing to ensure that we establish enough authority for this subtopic. The fourth subtopic makes sense because it's talking about reporting obligations. So not only do we need to comply and do certain things, but we also need to report regularly to to the main regulatory body for anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing in Australia. And so it talks about the reporting obligations as well. And then the fifth category is enforcement actions and penalties, which is also really relevant for for establishing authority on anti-money laundering compliance in Australia. Because obviously we've got to talk about what are the punishments. What happens when you breach your compliance obligations? What happens if you don't report on certain things within the required timelines, right? So it has done a really good job, from my understanding of AML and CTF laws in Australia. It has done a great job of finding the top 5 main topics that we need to write about, um, to actually rank for the keywords relating to AML/CTF compliance in Australia. So not only does it come up with those relevant categories of information that we should be writing about for our blog articles, but it also comes up with the actual, let me just, let me use, yeah, let me come up with, it also comes up with the long tail keywords that we should be targeting in order to establish that subcategory authority. So for AML CTF legislation, which is the first category, right? Let me just click on that one only, and it'll take us there. AML CTF legislation, which is here, it came up with, remember I put in 5 long tail keywords that we should be targeting for. And so it came up with these 5 long tail keywords. AML CTF legislation Australia, compliance requirements for AML/CTF. So that's the second long tail keyword we should be writing, that we should be targeting. Third is Australia's anti-money laundering laws. So that's another long tail keyword. Fourth is AML/CTF reporting obligations, and the fifth is impact of AML/CTF on businesses. So the AI has determined that those are the 5 main long tail keywords that we should be ranking for with our blog articles in order to establish authority for the main category, for the subcategory of AML/CTF legislation, which is then required to establish our main overall authority for AML/CTF compliance in Australia. So we can rank for that, for those particular keywords related to that main topic. Hopefully, you are following along so far. For each of the long tail keywords, and this is what I love about this topical authority creator, sorry, this topical map creator, is it then suggests the actual article titles that you should be writing to to rank for that particular long tail keyword. So it came up with 5 different article topics. We don't need to write all 5 of those articles. We can just choose one or maybe two if they're not closely related. You'll notice some of these are actually very closely related, or just different variations or different variations of article titles for the same topic. So you can see here AML CTF legislation in Australia explained. That is very similar to let's just say what you need to know about AML CTF legislation. Actually, it's not that similar, so that's a good thing. We might want to write an article on this, on what are the AML/CTF legislations, and then we can write another article on what we should know. So maybe the top 5 considerations about anti-money laundering laws in Australia, and then we can talk about, and then we can have another article on what are the compliance required for AML/CTF for Australian businesses, right? So that's another main article that we can write about to rank for the long tail keyword of AML/CTF legislation Australia. And then what this topical map does, it has come up with 5 different topics, 5 different article topics and titles for each of those long tail keywords. And so it's very thorough. Again, I can't zoom out, but it's very thorough, and it gives you so many different article titles, so many different article topics to write about. And by following this, let's just say you write each one of these articles, and then you write each one of these articles, and then each of these articles, you'll know for sure that the blog articles that you're writing is actually doing something to get you to start ranking for AML/CTF compliance in Australia. So that is how I come up with the topical map. So this is the topical map, right? Next, what I do is I don't just blindly follow this. I then also have to do a little bit more research myself to know, okay, what else should I be writing about? Because the AI only knows a certain level of detail and understanding of this particular topic. You got to actually do the research yourself as well. This wouldn't be too hard if you're a lawyer and you know the exact article topics that you should be writing about. This will just help you sort of map out what should be written first and what they're doing, right? What kind of authority they are creating for your website. So this is the first step. The second step, let me show you now, is actually doing some research. I know, right? It takes a long it takes effort to make sure that this works. Again, there's no shortcuts in this. You can only shorten the amount of time it takes to do something, but key steps you still got to do, like actually getting a deeper understanding of the topics that you're writing about. That's a key step. You can't just shortcut that. You can't just delete that and trust that to the AI. You actually gotta, do a bit of reading and understand a little bit more. This is the first like, the last few days was the first time I actually read about anti-money laundering laws in Australia, and so I need to actually get up to speed. Again, if you're a lawyer and you're doing this for your own website, you can skip this step because you've already gone through years of training and client experience to actually know what to write about. But for me, what I like to do, and this is good for agency owners doing this for clients, is just understand a little bit more, right? Look at some of the government sources, AML slash CTF programs. Remember, earlier on, I said programs are really important to develop for anti-money laundering compliance. Well, let's have a look at some of the government websites. They talk about two different parts. Okay, so it might be good to have an article explaining how, a guide to creating part A of your AML compliance program, and then have another article on a guide on what to do with part B of your AML CTF program, right? This is when you start digging deeper and start getting a better understanding of the more niche topics that you think your clients or your law firm clients will be Googling about. Let me, and then I'll find some other articles or other sort of resources. So I'll go to what's another one? Customer identification and verification. So this is in relation to what is it? Yeah, this one here. Ongoing customer due diligence. After reading a few articles, I saw this is an important factor, right? Ongoing customer due diligence to make sure that that you know who your customers are, so you can prevent risks of money laundering, right? I look at other blog articles from other law firms, from other businesses, and I see what are the main sort of topics related to AML slash CTF in Australia. You could talk about they mention implementing an ongoing customer due diligence, and then they also mention implementing monitoring and enhanced customer due diligence. So those two things are separate concepts underneath the topic of AML slash CTF compliance. We got to make sure that we have ongoing customer due diligence and enhanced customer due diligence. So again, those are two new topics that we can be writing about: a guide on ongoing customer due diligence in Australia. And the second topic could be a guide on enhanced customer due diligence um, for anti-money laundering laws in Australia, right? So this is where you start coming up with the more niche and more targeted, more specialized topics to be writing about in order to establish a topical authority for AML slash CTF compliance. So I got to be, I want to I want to emphasize just how important it is to just go beyond the surface level, right? Any sort of topical map that you create only touches the topics on quite a surface level, right? You want to go deeper than that because that's where the real value is. If you're a law firm, I, if you're a law firm, I trust you know what the deep topics are. So you just need some prompting as to understand which one of the deep topics I should be talking about. So this topical map tool here will give you a really good starting point of knowing, okay, cool, let's talk about legislation in Australia. And then you can have more topics underneath that you can be writing about. All right. And for agency owners, I beg of you, use this topical map or any topical map that you come across as only a guiding tool on what topics to write about. You have to do your own individual research, understand a little bit more about the articles that you'll be publishing on your clients' websites, and seeing what other article topics are actually super relevant to whatever that we're talking about, but which our clients, other competitors are not covering. right? So let me talk about this is a great example, part A of your AML compliance program. Let's just see how many law firms have a specific guide on what part A of your program is. Okay. AML program Australia, I'll type in part A. Let's have a look. Almost none are talking about specifically part A. All the search results that are not official government sources just talk about programs in general. And so this is an opportunity for you to create a particular article just talking about program part A. And that will set you apart from all the other competitors in your space who just generally touch upon what part A is. Because then you have an article specifically talking about part A, which means in Google's eyes, whenever someone's Googling what is part A of an AML program, Google's going to suggest your article specifically talking about part A, AML compliance, as the top search result, as the most relevant search result, because you're the only law firm in the space that has dedicated an entire article on part A. And that will put you above all the other competitors as well. And that will not only that, it will also further establish you as the topical authority for AML programs because you have specific articles addressing part A and part B, right? As opposed to another law firm that might just have one general article on just AML programs. And so that is how you find the topics that you need to write about to establish the necessary topical authority to rank for the competitive keywords that you want to rank for using with your homepage and your service page. Hopefully, this video was helpful. Again, I got to make sure there's no shortcuts to doing something well. There's only shortening the amount of time it takes to do something. For example, using an AI, or for example, delegating the task to someone else in your team, so you don't have to focus on on doing it. So, any questions, let me know down below. There will be an affiliate link. Big plug, there will be an affiliate link for SearchAtlas. You get a 7-day free trial using my affiliate link. Although to be honest, you also get a 7-day free trial if you don't use an affiliate link. But please, guys, use my affiliate link. It costs you nothing. There will be this time they will be asking you to input your credit card details. So please put a 6-day reminder 6 days from now to either cancel your plan or to make sure there's no money in your card so it doesn't charge you. Unless you want to keep using Search Atlas, in which case feel free to keep using it. Like a monthly plan is like 99 bucks, and you get access to all the tools on Search Atlas, not just the topical map creator. I like the topical map creator for this particular process. In the future, I'll talk about what the other what the other features are of Search Atlas that personally use for my law firm clients. So yeah, let's talk about the questions in the YouTube comments. All right, 2 comments, left on the backlinks video. I thought you guys liked it. It got a lot more views than the other ones previous to that one. Different perspectives. Glad to see you again, different perspectives. Thank you for the video and for the answers, Jason. Great content, really. Thank you so much once again. Since the launch of ChatGPT, I'm hearing SEO is dead on a regular basis. So I'm actually surprised that backlinks strategy is still in use. Number one, from your experience, did you notice any significant drop in organic search since the GPT launch, or are SEO strategies still standing strong, including backlinking? So, yeah, SEO is dead. Has been said for like a whole decade, probably. And to answer your question, no, we've not actually seen any significant drop in organic search since GPT launch or since the launch of ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude and all that. We actually haven't for the clients that I've worked with. And actually, what our clients have been ranking in GPT search results. I had a catch up with one of my long term clients, actually my longest running client. Had a catch up with him back in December, and he said that he has clients telling him, "Oh, I found you on ChatGPT," and so it actually is, from my experience, it's actually really good to have ChatGPT and other AI search engines start suggesting our clients to the search users because it's just another avenue for us to get more eyeballs on our clients and get more leads and traffic to them. So no significant drop. in terms of lead volume, and actually no significant drop in terms of organic search as well. The one area where there has been where the did sorry the one area where I did notice a drop, but it was not significant, is in Google search results, where there are search results that previously my clients were ranking number one as a featured snippet. For a lot of those for a lot of those keywords where those featured snippets appeared, they've now been replaced with Google AI summaries. And so that we did see some results. Sorry, we did see a drop in that regard, where featured snippets, where we were no longer at a featured snippet, and this happened in around of November last year. But there really was not much of a significant drop, and it all just recovered. So yeah, I would say SEO strategy is still standing strong, including backlinking, because the way ChatGPT and all the LLMs know what's good information or not, or what to suggest, is that they still scrape Google, they still scrape the internet, and so they still look at backlinks as an authority, as a signal of authority to know, okay, well, this information here has like 10 billion backlinks to it. This is probably more trustworthy for us to suggest in our LLM answers than this other search result, which might have like only 10 backlinks. So it actually, in my opinion, and I'm uneducated, I'm not a pro at this. In my humble opinion, SEO strategies are actually really important for AI search results as well. So keep doing the SEO strategies because they are likely contributing to you appearing in the AI search results as well. The second question, I might have overlooked it, but I didn't catch, what does the company you backlink to is doing? So mostly they're law firms. So some of them are financial service law firms, some of them are property law firms, some of them are criminal and traffic law firms, a whole bunch of different type of law firms. I had the impression that the websites that place backlinks have not so much to do with the core business, such as books, limos, IT services in Nigeria, etc. Does this matter to Google or not so much, as long as the domains are strong and reputable? In other words, better to have a link from a weak website that has a lot to do with the business, or a link from a strong, reputable website that has almost nothing to do with your business. It's not really a black. It's not a this or that. They're not mutually exclusive. It's all on a spectrum. So it's not like, oh, it doesn't matter, yes or no. It all matters, it's just to what extent. So the strongest backlinks, my understanding, would be from a really strong, reputable website that is also directly relevant or adjacent to the website that you are linking to. That is probably the best. And then the worst, not the worst, but like the least effective would be a link from a very spammy, like a link farm, right? Not a reputable website that is linking to that is backlinking to a website that is also just not fully relevant or in an adjacent industry. It's not so again, it's not whether one is effective and the other one is not effective, or one matters and one does not matter. It's just to what extent do they matter. First example is probably to the most extent, like it is probably the best one. And then the second example that I gave was probably they're not very important at all. Like Google probably just ignores them. So yes, a lot of the backlinks that I found and that I got for $19 that I showed in my BIP 12 video, they were from mostly from businesses that were not adjacent to or relevant to the actual website or the client that the backlinks were being sent to. That being said, it's still valuable to have them because, and before I say that, as long as this is from my experience and from what I've learned from other backlink building companies, as long as the article that includes the backlink to the other website, as long as that article is still kind of relevant to that other website, that still makes it more valuable than if the article itself is just not that relevant to the website. So it doesn't like I'm sure Google knows that a website doesn't just have to talk about one specific thing. They could branch out to something else. And whenever if that article is relevant to the actual link that it's sending the link to, then that's still valuable. It's obviously not going to be as valuable as if it's a link from a blog article talking about something that's relevant to the backlink article, to the backlink website, but that blog post is also on an adjacent or very relevant website as well. That's going to be more valuable. But as long as the blog article itself is relevant, then it should be fine. Obviously, the more relevance, the more targeted and niche that article, that topic, that website sending a link to your other website, as the more relevant it is to that, the better it is. But I'm not saying it's worthless. It's just less effective. It's still better than not having it at all. So hopefully that makes sense. Different perspectives. Thank you so much for replying just every day. Just loving it. Loving the questions. Responded in BIP 13. Okay. And then the second question is from second comment, Carl Infinity. Welcome back. Backlinks for the algo. I'll check out link rocket with your link. Thank you so much, Carl Infinity. Hope my cold call script video was helpful and you put that into action. Again, you can just take the script and use it for yourself. And yeah, shout out to you. Shout out in BIP 13. Awesome. And so for the if you've made it this far, might as well put a comment in the in put a comment down below. Let's just say topical map for the algo. Put that in there, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. See you guys.